Hi, how are you doing? Here's another episode of
The Basement
with Anders Colsefni. I'm playing around with new names for this stupid thing because Ask Anders sounds too much like Dear Abby or something like that. So we're going to just go with our first question here from the Wodenator again. And he asks, if the Wodenator is a he, now that Painface is back, can we expect a re-release of Fleshcraft? Yes, you can. I've stated that before. We're reissuing that on a digipack with a couple of extra songs and some different artwork and so forth. So, next question comes from Habib Bahane. And you were in On a Pale Horse with Josh Brainerd. Are you still associated with him, and do you think you would ever jam with Josh again? Josh was the first guitar player I ever jammed with. He was 15 and I was 17. So he's always been a brother to me, and I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't get a lot of time to go out and mingle with my friends anymore, but would I jam with Josh again? Oh yeah, he's a great guitar player. That's all there is to it. So. Did Body Pit ever record any demos? Not really. We did the old cassette tape in the stereo, hit play and record and try to come up with something decent. And I believe there's somebody who has some of these cassette tape recordings floating around somewhere, but I don't know who's got them. I would really like to hear them again, but they were very bad sound quality, so... sorry for bugging you. Oh, don't read that. Nah, you're not bugging me. Next question. Jax Zane. That's kind of a wild name. Heartache Villain. Heartache Villain. Headache Villain. My eyes are going to crap. Could have to do with the dark basement room down here. We might have to... we're not going to add more light. Candles, how about that? Let's burn the place to the ground. What have you been doing for all these years to support yourself to live? I've been working. I'm a construction worker because I haven't made a dime doing music at all. So, you know, and most musicians that you don't know much about or are, you know, just simply unsigned musicians trying to do it out of their own garages and whatnot, you sink a lot more money into it than you ever get out of it. That's why, you know, online promotions and so forth are very, very important. So, yeah, I've been a construction worker for, you know, all my adult life, and I would like to not be one someday, but, you know, is what it is. I'm going to keep doing music regardless of what I do for a living. However I pay my bills, it won't make any difference. So thank you for that question. Real quick question. This one is from Victor Avia. Some friends of mine said that the band Mr. Bungle may have had some influence on Slipknot in the beginning. Is that true? I know a couple of us really liked Mr. Bungle when we first heard him, but we didn't know anything about their live show or anything. So we got some comparisons to that back before we even released Matefied Killer Pete. People had thought that we were quirky like Mr. Bungle. We had a lot of different stuff going on. I think some of the circus sounding music stuff that we did at shows, you know, for entrance music and whatnot, may very well have brought that up too. You know, the Mr. Bungle, I've been told, wears masks on stage, but that's, you know, I don't think any real influence came from them, but a few of us really, really did like Mr. Bungle. I still do. They're awesome. So thank you, Victor. And let's see here. We're going to go to... This one is from Evan Allen Jones. This is a good question here. How do you keep going in the local music industry at your age? Because my friend's band, they're all about your ages, somewhere in their 30s, and they broke up recently because they didn't make any money from it, and they couldn't cope without money. So how do you keep it together? Because I'm in a band and I want to keep it going, but I want to know how to cope. My age isn't going to make any difference, because my drive to write and perform music is going to always be there, regardless of how old I am. The tastes and opinions and ability to do different things change as you get older. You know, sometimes those increase, sometimes they decrease, sometimes they just change to something completely different. You just got to roll with it. You know, I know a lot of people that want to hang up their hats because all of a sudden they start getting some gray in their beard and whatnot. And for a long time, the metal world has been a young man's world. But, you know, I could give a crap less how many little girls think I'm a hot, sexy little singer. I just don't care. You know, I'm out there to release my rage and anger, and I'm going to have rage and anger the rest of my life. So I may be 80. No, I won't be doing this when I'm 80, I'm pretty sure. But the way you keep going and you cope with it is you just don't have it being an issue for you whatsoever. I don't really care, you know. I'm less worried about my age and more worried about my weight, you know. It's just like everything else. So the people that hang up their hats because of their age, they just wanted to do it for a hobby, you know. If they really had a constant internal drive to keep going, it wouldn't have been an issue. So the way you cope with it is you just deal with it. You may have to find other musicians down the road if your band all of a sudden hits 40 and then 3 of the 5 members or whatever decide they're retiring from music, then you're going to end up having to find new musicians. But most small town local bands or big town local bands that aren't signed, that are doing it themselves, run into the same problems. I'm sure you're constantly going through members because it's a soap opera, and being a musician, there are all sorts of tender little strings that you have to pluck here and there to make sure everybody's on the same page with everything. And nothing's more opinionated than music writers. And if you're not opinionated, then there's something wrong with you. But you just keep going, Evan. So I am going to close down shop for this particular episode. I want you to keep sending me in questions. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend, and keep the questions rolling in. Anders Colsefni at gmail.com. Please send them there if you can. I'll keep trying to pick them off of the other places you guys throw them up. But anyway, you guys have a good one. Anders out.